Anyway, yes, and we are officially live right here outside this beautiful, beautiful place. And yeah, so to those that are tuning in for the first time, I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here, guys. So this is definitely Look Up with Noni. And yeah, you might be wondering, how? Hi. Not at all, not at all. But actually, this is a friends podcast that basically that we are first, pushing and just really touching, things that concern South Africa. But before we even get into that, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. And we are live, at Noni. This is your home. This is your place. It's such a beautiful home, such a tranquil place, with a beautiful garden, and yeah, if you have to be where we are right now, it is so lovely. And welcome to your podcast. It's your podcast. This is not my podcast. I'm just interviewing. I'm just excited just having you, my friend. And I think if we go back, gosh, I remember we met at church, I believe. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, we did meet at church, and I remember very clearly, just seeing this lady just walk in, and I was like, oh, okay, new member, ebandleni, recruited. So it's that how, like, and even just meeting you and even greeting you for the first time, and just not knowing that you're a people's person, your heart is just so open to people, that you love people so much, and how you easily just like click with people immediately. Obviously, it stems from first you settling that in your heart, ukuthi umuntu wabantu. And I love how you generally are this person with this heart that just is a people's person. You love people. Love people is your thing. And I even got to meet your mom and your dad also, and I see the heart that you carry, because they're also the same. They're very inviting, very including, lovely people. And I remember I was at home chatting with my wife, and she said, yo, if there's anything that is amazing about Noni as a parents also, because they are so welcoming, they're loving, just like her. And I agree. You, my friend, umuntu wabantu, and please let us know who Noni is.
Thank you, my friend, for doing this finally. So welcome to my home.
Yeah.
But also welcome to our podcast.
Okay.
This is an open conversation.
Okay.
We came up with the idea.
I'm being filled in as our podcast. Okay. Yes. Okay.
It's Look Up with Noni.
Look Up with Noni.
Look Up with Noni is really about talking.
Yes.
We're talking about addiction, alcoholism, and recovery.
Okay.
The focus is really on giving people hope that you can recover from addiction or alcoholism.
Yeah.
So I was born in Ngutu in northern KZN.
Yes.
In 1981. And we moved to Westville, Durban. My family when in 1990, when Mandela came out of prison. Well, before we voted in 94. But anyways, that's that's when I moved to Durban. I'm the firstborn at home. I have two younger sisters.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? I grew up a very loving child from a very warm home.
Yes.
Very supportive parents, highly educated parents, responsible parents who really instilled a lot of principles.
Yes.
We also went to church. But really my parents were about grooming us into understanding the values of being a family and being supportive to each other, my sisters, and even to our aunts and uncles. So a very close family that is loving and supportive. There wasn't a lot of chaos really in my family. My parents don't really drink, so I wasn't really exposed to alcohol, drugs at a young age. So that's when that's me being as a child. I went to school. I was doing well at school. I mean, even teachers liked me. I remember my maths teacher. I was one of their best students. I did well in accounting. And I really listened, to rules and whatever that's going on. And I had a lot of friends from a young age. I went to a school called Umlazi Comtech
Okay.
That was my high school. It was a boarding school.
Yes.
We were not allowed to really go out unless your parents are coming. And I just remember something so significant that happened with me in just expressing how supported I was.
Yeah.
When it was visiting weekends, my parents, without fail, were the first ones that were at the gates.
What?
Yeah, I just remembered this recently. And they would have brought everything that I asked for, whether it's cereal or something for activities at school. And they were coming from Engwood. They never, missed visiting time.
Yes.
So my parents were really supportive. And I remember my mom, just one thing that she really instilled or told me was to not rush into in a relationship, having a boyfriend at a young age, and not to engage in alcohol.
Yeah.
So when I was at boarding school, my friends started to babeka esikoleni. bahambe bayothenga utshwala babuye. I'll just look at them. Some were older than me. They were doing other grades. So they would drink. I don't remember much, changing in their faces or anything like that, or them behaving in a funny way.
Sure.
But I also wasn't interested. I just looked at them in drinking. So I didn't drink in high school. Then when I finished my whole high school without drinking. I went to university, UKZN.
Yes.
It's called UKZN now.
UKZN,
at that time, it was University of Natal.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I think it's Howard College. That's where I went.
This is cool.
Yeah. That's when. So then I was 19, 20.
Yes.
That's when I got introduced to alcohol.
Yeah.
The main reason I drank was that I was 18. Now I'm of age.
Yeah,
so it seemed like, oh, you qualify now.
Yeah,
so
which is such a common thing.
Yeah,
such a common thing with like
positioned as something that you can try now.
Yeah.
So the reason why I drank was because I was 18, and the first time I drank, I was with my cousins. We were at the mall, one of the biggest mall in Westville.
Yes.
It had just been built at that time, so we just ordered a cider.
Yeah.
We were giggling, laughing. And nothing happened.
Yeah.
I drank, they drank. We only had one drink, and that was it.
Yeah. And I can imagine, as you just mentioned, at the age of 18, is where, like, it's such a common thing with all teenagers, because they like saying, I'm of age, therefore I can explore into such a thing where consuming alcohol is like a fun thing. It's like it kind of like gets in touch with the adult thing for them, because they say at the age of 18, that's where things become legal to you, and it's always advertised to 18-year-olds that you can watch a movie that's 18 plus, you can drink, but you have to be at the age of 18 in order to consume such a drink. And which is very interesting. Like I don't know how to perceive it, whether it's such a good thing for teenagers at that age, because can you imagine the thought of there's a thing where they advertise on television, they talk about the responsible drinking, but not a lot of teenagers do the responsible drinking as such. And so the which is so amazing, just as you share your upcoming, just the beginning stage of how that actually started impacting. But like what made you want to, like today as we're talking, like what makes you want to share your story about Noni and her journey, the whole thing of alcohol and how it impacted her? Like what makes you want to share your story with the world? Because we've seen a lot of TikTok videos where you've shared with people on the dangers of it, like what it does to you personally, what it does to your family, and how it's actually not good for you. Like what made you want to tell your story to the world?
I really want to tell my story because from the day when I picked up my first drink, nothing would have prepared me for what happened after that.
Yeah.
That one decision that I made to try that one cider.
Yeah.
Nothing would have prepared me for what came after that.
Yeah.
So, and also when there's a big thing about turning 18 and now you're of age to watch those movies or to to drink alcohol.
Yes.
But no one ever talks about how long are you going to drink for? Because when you go to school, you have a degree that's 4 years. When you're working, you want to be at a certain level for a certain period.
So good.
And then you want to be now an executive manager. Or you want to be, there's always a timeline. With alcohol, you just open the door and you leave it to alcohol to decide for you.
Okay. So basically, after realizing the fact that, you consuming alcohol at the age of 18, because now you got the freedom to do so because of age, and how television always just presents that to you and say drink responsibly only for people under the not for people under the age of 18. And so then 18 is the legal age in South Africa. And knowing that you now so deep in, and I'm sure you had moments where basically you wanted to stop, because early, yes, you wanted to stop. And what was the thing that when you try to stop, but then it kept making you go back into alcohol? Into drinking.
It's a very I had a very long journey with alcohol. I think initially, what kept me drinking was the fact that alcohol is fun. And at that time, I really liked going out. We were modeling with my friends. I was really exposed into the scenes of, going to clubs. My friends were DJs. I also had friends that were promoting alcohol and cigarettes when cigarettes were still allowed to be promoted at the time. So there were reps. And so we were always invited to these events where alcohol is free, really. Maybe because we were pretty girls, so we always had a free pass.
obviously they're gonna use this as just as an advertisement thing. But anyway,
So it was just fun, So I drank for fun, just to socialize and maybe have a sense of belonging. Initially, I never really tried to stop drinking. So what happened though? I started working at the age of 23, and I was working in government. I was working actually in a provincial office, a high-profile office, where I needed to be very, attentive and productive and all of that stuff. So balancing going out at night until 3 a.m. and then 8 o'clock I need to be at work, that became a problem. So my then boss suggested that I go to rehab because they picked up some patterns. So they picked them up before I did. I thought I was drinking normally, but clearly people who saw that there was something wrong. I was 23, so I was then sent to a rehab. When I went to rehab, I listened to what they told me. There are a lot of things that they said. But I really wasn't convinced that I had a problem. So I think I just held on to certain things that, when you drink, that you change how you look, or people start neglecting themselves, their own bath, or certain things. Also, if maybe you're taking drugs. So I had certain things. So I think I held on to, okay, I'm going to drink, but I'm not just going to look like someone who's a street kid or who's not taking care of themselves. So there was the first part, but with time, because I think alcohol is progressive. And the more, from the first time I drank, remember I said I drank a cider. Initially. But after that, we started drinking beers. We started drinking wine. I started drinking cocktails. I started drinking hot stuff like whiskey, brandy. And initially, I had a favorite drink, but at some point, I was just drinking alcohol just to get drunk. So the amount changed, and the choice became wider. So I was more exposed to the alcohol. So I think at that time, I would say alcohol has gotten a hold of me, because now I also wasn't going to an event where alcohol wasn't. If you're inviting me, you had to have my favorite drink waiting for me, or a drink waiting for me. So then I think at some point I did realize there was a problem. But it was just a conversation between myself and me and myself on my own, because my friends are also not saying there's something wrong, because everyone around me is drinking the same way I'm drinking. We're drinking until a very late age. Now I'm talking over a period of 10 years, from the ages of 20, from the age of 23. Now we're in my 30s. I've been drinking non-stop, progressively though. You see, so I think at some point I felt like I'm neglecting my daughter. When I would be with her, I wouldn't be able to be really present because maybe I'm hungover, or if I'm not hungover, I'm drinking in front of her. I remember there were moments where would be having a conversation with her. She'd be like, "Oh, mom, this is what happened at school, but I'm busy drinking a glass of wine," and I'll see the look on her face when she'd be like, "Oh, okay," like showing that she can see that I'm not really listening to her. Yeah, I'm not really there for her. And that happened a few times. So that used to bother me. I think that was maybe one of the biggest things that made me want to look into my drinking patterns. Then I tried. I remember specifically there was a period, if it's not 4 years, at 5 years, where I tried with my all might to actually stop drinking. But the more I tried, alcohol showed me that it was more in control than me. Because I used to drink maybe between just weekends, or maybe a long weekend from Thursday to Monday. And when I made a decision that, okay, I'm just going to keep it on those days, that's when I started drinking on a Tuesday. And then it progressed to me drinking from Friday until Wednesday. And then there was a thing called Puza Thursday. I added Thursday. And then I was drinking every day until the time when I started drinking even in the morning, like throughout the whole day. But it was as if every time I'm making a decision for myself, I would just fail. So I think at that point I realized how powerless I was over alcohol. But remember, because I'd been to rehab at 23. I don't know, my mind will tell me that there's no help for me. So so I just never thought that, I mean, because of the 5 years that I tried to stop drinking on my own, that there was actually a solution for someone like me to be able to stop drinking.
Wow. And just as you were talking earlier on about, being a mom that has your mom that has a daughter, and now we all know the Hannah's grown up now. She's currently in Stellenbosch, correct?
No, she's in SAE. It's a music school.
The music school. We're in Cape Town.
It's in Cape Town.
Eastern Cape Town. Yes, in Cape Town. So for those that do not know, my friend Noni has a beautiful daughter by the name of Hannah. Amazing, beautiful girl. I remember when she was very small, but now she's all grown up now, very independent now. And that's her daughter that she's talking about. So, and it's amazing that you say that, because I remember clearly with my mother also, because she was also drinking a lot. And it did affect us as kids, because, in order for her, but she kind of used alcohol for the wrong reasons, where basically she needed to take, and it becomes like a reliever. Like people say, I want to forget stuff. I want to forget what happened at work. I want to forget all that I'm going through, the tough things that I'm going through. And so, she used that, just relating to the fact that you're saying that you were present with Hannah, but you weren't really present as a mother, because you're so consumed by alcohol, and just the fact that you were there, but you weren't there at the same time. And I can relate. And we don't talk about that, like how it affects our kids. We don't talk how it affects family, because I think at that time, like when we're going through what we're going through, it's just you want this thing because you just want to forget things, or you just want to consume it because it's enjoyable to consume. And so do you think you were addicted at that time, or do you believe you had it under control? When you look at your it kind of feels like you have answered it, but I just want to know in depth, because now I like to think that sometimes people think that they're in control of it. But do you think that you were addicted at that time, or did you believe that you had it all under control, and you would drink on certain days, and certain days you're like, I just need to, recover, get my body well, and then go back again? Or did it just become a thing that when you were enjoying just about your business, you just thought about it continuously, so it became like every day? Like you'd say, I'll have one today on Monday, then comes Tuesday, like, let me just have another one. Now I won't exceed over maybe 2 glasses of wine or so forth. Do you think that you you were addicted, or you felt like now you weren't addicted? It's just normal, just drinking. And do you think that you were in control of it?
You know, I with what I know now, also, alcohol or drugs, is very manipulative.
Yes.
It plays in your brain. So there's a part of you that knows the truth.
Yes.
And then there's the part of you that's battling with really accepting that there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
So I would say I was in a lot of denial. So as much as I was trying, but alcohol it's as if I was also trying to stay in my life.
Yes.
So I would try, and then I can make excuses. I mean, there'll be a consequence where I remember there was a time I was staying in Joburg at that time. I was driving. We went out with somewhere in Rosebank with my friends, and I was staying in Rivonia at that time. So I drove home. When I woke up in the morning, I had a ticket that I got from a cop. But as far as I remember, I drove on the M1 going home. But the tickets was saying that I got the tickets on Rivonia Road. I don't remember being stopped by cops.
Wow.
I don't remember speaking to them.
Hectic.
I don't remember how, but I mean, evidence was there. But I remember that day, for the first time, I went out and I looked around my car. If I scratched it or if I hit someone. So I would say clearly there was a problem. You know, if I don't know how I got home, and other problems would be, I'll make a sincere commitment to maybe to do something with my mother. Maybe the next day, let's say my mom would say, "Oh, let's go attend a function, a family function. You need it then, not that time. Either I'm gonna pick you up. We're gonna meet at this place at a certain time." You know, with everything in me, I want to show up for the appointment. But I'll find myself drinking until late the next thing in the morning, or I'm really passed out. So clearly there's a problem if you know what you say and what you do don't match. Even if your intention is to really show up. So you're really powerless over alcohol. So I would say there were so many you know, signs that there was a problem. So it was that. You know, there's so many things that I could use to show that there was a problem, even though my mind was able to minimize it and be like, oh, abantu abaphuza vele kuba kanje. You know, when you drink, we miss appointments. Hey, vele, why abantu besifuna into eningi? Why are we supposed to attend funerals and weddings? Which is not a normal way of looking at things. Another example that I could make of showing clearly that this was a problem. A friend of mine was getting married in East London. At that time, I was staying in Johannesburg. So she invited me. I knew about this, I think, in June. So the wedding was around December. I booked flights. I had a budget for it. So I arrived on a Thursday, or, you know, just to be in time for Saturday. And I made a decision. I'm not going to drink because I didn't trust my drinking until the day of the wedding. So I'm sober, fresh, I'm there for my friend. So Thursday I didn't drink, but it was so hard to not drink. It was really hard to hold myself. So this is Thursday, the whole day I'm waiting in East London. And then now it's Friday. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna drink because I really don't want to disappoint my friend. Honestly, the decision just comes like this. No, just have one. And in my life, I've never had one. But in that moment, I believe that I can. Then I drink that wine on a Friday. I drank. And when you're drinking, you meet other people that drink easily. I was out the whole night in East London with people, I don't know, one I've met, or anyone who can drink. I missed the wedding.
Hectic. That you're invited to.
The reason why I was in East London. Because I drank on Friday to Saturday. On Saturday, I looked like a hobo. So there was no way I was going to. And at that time, you are filled with guilt, shame, and in your mind is like, yeah, but why did my friend get married in December? And that put strain on our friendship, of course. I mean, I wasted money, and I really wanted to be there for my friend's wedding, and I missed it. Saying Figile, East London.
Sure, that is hectic. And it's so amazing because just asking the question, were you in control? Now you just answered that it really affected you in the way that you actually missed a wedding, and now it also started affecting your friendship. That is so hectic. That is so hectic. It just goes to show the level of power that you have on certain things is that some stuff you might have power over, but some stuff you genuinely don't have power over. If that thing starts having power over you, it's like basically we say that no, we're in control of the joystick of life, that that we can navigate this thing, but no, actually it's the thing that controls us and navigates us, and which is so powerful what you're saying. So just leading to the next question, looking back, what do you think you were trying to escape or cope with? Because obviously it stems from something. Just listening to the different things that, like, like earlier on I said with my mother, it was an escape from her thinking too much about what was happening in her life personally, whether it was the battles, that she was going through with like work, or maybe with family, or just knowing that we were kids and maybe she was trying to make ends meet. But what were the things looking back that you think that you were trying to escape or you were trying to cope with?
Okay. So remember when I started drinking, it was for fun.
Yeah.
I would say I didn't really have problems, or I didn't have a specific thing that was really pushing me.
Yeah.
I had a good background. However, I mean, as a human being, when you grow up, you're gonna have conflicts. You're gonna have interest or desires of certain things that you want to achieve. I mean, as you grow, you need to develop relationships and all of that stuff. Yeah. So my coping mechanism was alcohol. That whenever I'm going through something that makes me happy, now we need to celebrate with champagne.
Yes.
When I'm going through something maybe that's making me sad, I'm gonna drink.
Yeah.
Or when I'm just having a normal day. So I think I depended on alcohol as a solution for whatever that I'm going through.
Sure.
Which then, made me not grow up as a human being. You know what I mean? Because now I don't face things as I should as an adult.
Yes.
But I just escape. I just escape.
Yeah.
And with doing that, for me, in my experience,
yeah,
I started creating problems. So basically, alcohol started creating problems itself for me. Because now I'm an unreliable friend, and I'm not a present mother. I'm also not reliable to my mother. So alcohol, as much as it was like a friend that was helping me cope with life as a whole, it was also stealing from me in a journey of really growing up and having a just life. And with time, I really think I ended up really feeling a void.
Yeah.
Like a really big void in my life as it progressed.
Wow. And just as you speak about that, now I just really want to just jump into like, obviously you speak about alcohol being the thing that becomes damaging to you personally in your life, and just like escaping and the coping mechanisms that you used at that time. But I just want to find out from you personally now, just touching and just really getting intimate in just who Noni is as a independent woman, a woman that really is very very good at like what she does in terms of like pursuing stuff and really getting stuff done. But obviously there's certain points where people there's a point where people see the good of Noni. Let's say that we're like, no, Siamazu Noni, we know as this person, as that person, as this person, as that person. But when Noni's by herself, and we all go through those moments where like we feel defeated in certain areas. So like, I want to talk about your lowest points. Like, so what was the darkest moment in your addiction?
So I think we've been speaking about alcohol. Alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
I also want to add that I was also introduced to ecstasy at some point. Remember, I was going to clubs all the time. So I took ecstasy because it was part of the clubbing scene at the time.
Yeah.
And because I was working, when you're taking ecstasy and alcohol, you just buzz the whole time. And I then at some point was introduced to cocaine. I started taking cocaine.
Wow.
Not only that, I was also introduced to crack cocaine.
Wow.
Which I think, honestly, by the grace of God, I didn't stay in crack cocaine for long.
Yes.
It just became an experience.
Yeah.
And my drug of choice was alcohol and cocaine. So those are the drugs that I really took for long. Alcohol and cocaine. Those are the drugs that took me to rehab.
Yes,
so,
yes.
I would say my lowest point was when I realized I actually can't drink and not take cocaine. And I also can't take cocaine without a drink.
And now alcohol actually stemmed from going from, that was level 1. Now alcohol started bringing a new friend, which is, okay, wow.
Yeah, and cocaine will expose you to even people that you wouldn't normally hang around with. And making decisions that you wouldn't really make if you were not drinking. I mean, now I had numbers of drug dealers. I was owing people money at some point.
Hectic.
And my lowest point was really just navigating drinking. And you know, most of my friends that were close to me really didn't take cocaine. And some of them didn't even know that I was taking cocaine. So I'll be with them. I'm hiding that I'm taking cocaine. I'm taking cocaine in their bathrooms. So I had this personal relationships, and I had I was also thriving in business. So I'm also hiding it from my business partners. That I'm not just only drinking, and I'm also taking drugs. So my lowest point was, I think, when I realized I actually can't live without it. There was a time we had a very important meeting at Kwanongoma when I was establishing my maize mill business. You know, I was meeting people in that field, and we were driving back with my business partner. Then on our way back, we had a really amazing meeting. So we were talking about this, but I just had cravings for alcohol. As she's speaking, I'm listening to her, but my mind is thinking, I need a drink. Then I said to her, you know what, can we stop somewhere on our way, Ulundi or something, to get a drink? And then she said to me, oh, no, you know, Noni, how about drink in Durban? So I said, okay, thinking, okay, 3 hours. Okay, it's fine. 3 hours, I can wait. The whole time we're in the car, my mind was thinking about that drink or that reward I'm going to get when I get into Durban.
Hectic.
So I think that's really the obsession of the mind with alcohol. So we drove. I'm just thinking about the drink. When we got to Durban, you know what she says to me? It's dark now. Let's drink another day.
Oh my gosh.
I almost died inside.
Oh my.
When I was told that my drink is not going to happen. That's all I've been looking forward to. So I think my lowest was how addicted I was to the alcohol, and how much it consumed you, and how much I was so dependent on it. So we were driving in a car. That means she dropped me off. You know, guess what I did? I got into my car. I went straight to a pub that opens 24/7. And I had my tequila shots and whatever that I drank by myself.
That is so interesting that you say that, because we in a society today where, like, you just, you know, opening up about, you know, your darkest moments, and how you cannot, you couldn't not, you had to have a drink. You have to, because the body was here, and it's like now it's become a norm. So it's like you become desensitized to alcohol as being the very thing. It's like kind of like drinking water out of a tap, you know, because, you know, our bodies need water, so we don't feel dehydrated. But it's amazing now. Alcohol has become like the new water that's needed in the body, because you have to have it in order for you to function in a normal day-to-day life. And thank you so much for sharing that.
I just want to add something. Also, with time, in just adding on the progress and on how progressive it is.
Yes.
So the first issue is that I have a craving to pick up the first drink. And my mind is telling me I'm only going to have that one glass of wine. Once I start drinking that glass, it calls in for the other one. and then I drink the next one.
Yes.
The next thing, the bottle's finished.
Yeah.
The next thing is the next bottle.
Yes.
And it's as if the craving in my body gets stronger and stronger the more I drink.
You drink.
So there will never be enough alcohol that will satisfy the craving. But that starts with that first drink.
First drink. Yes.
Because, you know, towards the end, when I started drinking, I didn't know where it was going to end. I wouldn't have said, I'm only going to drink 6. Then I'm fine. Because I never drank 6. I drank until alcohol finished or until I passed out. Yeah.
So what do you say to people? Because now I have an interesting question, because sometimes I like to think that people like to think that, no, I'm very much in control. I got it. You know, I got this thing. So what would you say for a person who's been, okay, not for a person that's been doing it for long, but for a person that has started out, you know, they started getting like, because people will say, you know, I have a preference when it comes to alcohol, you know, I like this drink, I like the way it fizzes in my mouth, I like the taste, I like the this and that. Do you think that those people are in control? Because, you know, you don't get your people that drink in that day to day, but you get your occasional drinkers. Do you assume that they are in control of their drinking and they don't look at it as a drinking problem?
You know,
the
safest thing really when it comes to alcohol, the only person who's in control of alcohol is the person who's not drinking it.
Ooh. Please say that again. They need to hear this. So you say the person
who is in control of alcohol is the person who's not drinking it.
Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. You heard it from myself. Yeah, that is powerful.
And weighing alcohol. People, if you've used the word, say, "I'll play this puzzle."
Yeah.
What does that mean? Alcohol made you do what you. People say that, even people that don't go to rehab, or people that don't get into the trouble. But there will always be that weekend or that moment where they were stopped by cops. Or where they didn't show up for their children or for their wife. Or husband, or one way or the other. Or there will be a day where they'll be like, hey, besiphuzile, hey, lapha kuyi-family function, or lapha emsebenzini, yabo kwi-Christmas party, into eyenzakalile. Kodwa besiphuzile. So who's in control?
That's good.
It might not happen regularly, but I think the whole relationship with alcohol needs a person who is really, really honest with themselves. You have to be honest. So you have to monitor it and see how it started, where you at, what is happening, and have an honest relationship. And one of the simply but very powerful tools of monitoring your drinking is to journal about it. Because this is about your life.
Yes.
This is if drinking is part of your life, and work is part of your life, family is part of your life. Angithi uma kunenkinga ekhaya nibiza meeting. Ukuthi let's have a discussion. Emsebenzini manginelo uyahamba kwa-HR uyocomplain. Uma kunenkinga futhi no alcohol, which you consume every weekend, journal about it. It is part of your life. Don't act as if it's not that serious. It is serious, because now uyiphuza njalo unane favorite yakho. It's part of your journey. It's a real big part of your life.
It's percentage wafunayo futhi.
Uma kunomcimbi kumele kube namabhodlela athile. Uma kungcatshwa obani funa babekele eceleni utshwala obuthile. So why uma sekuthiwa look into it properly, ungafuni ube namahloni ukuthi hayi ngeke ngijournale ngotshwala mina. You have to journal about it, because that's where you're going to find the truth of where you've been. Even people that maybe don't end up at rehabs, or that might not have addiction or alcoholism. From the very first time they drank, their bodies now has progressed. It needs more. Akekho umuntu ophuza nje class.
Oh, you know, just as we spoke about, like, you know, the lowest points in your life, where you basically explained the darkest moments in consuming a lot of alcohol, basically drinking alcohol, and also that it started opening doors now to cocaine. But what was, and like, from your perspective, from your view, I just wanted to know, like, how did the alcohol consuming addiction and also the cocaine drug addiction started affecting your relationships? Because you explained earlier on about like how you were invited to a friend's wedding and you missed that wedding because of just alcohol consumption, and also basically it led to you being more like it started affecting the friendship as such. And but now how like looking at your relationship with your family and friends, how did your alcohol addiction and drug addiction affect relationships with family and friends, and what changes did you start noticing in those relationships?
So everything happens in steps.
Yeah.
Like it's very gradually. So you'll find friends that are people that are responsible, or people that grow up with you that really care about you.
Yeah.
And family members that really care about you, like my sisters or things like that. So initially people will show concern.
Yeah.
We don't, the way that you drink. Or some people, like my family sister, they'll ask me, are you still using drugs? Because remember when I went to rehab first, I was under the pretense that I'm no longer taking drugs. I'm just drinking only, even though alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
So it affected me in a sense that people that maybe I'd say cared about me, that were talking sense. If someone dating me, hey, are we able to pause? Avoid. So you avoid ngoba nje umosha impilo yami. Uyabhora. Or I started changing and really leaning more on people that will allow me to drink as much as I did.
Wow. So, yeah. Sure. And so with like, with that being said, which is very funny, because we always like these type of people that, like in the past, like we still enjoy fun. We still like enjoy having fun, but having fun responsibly. And which I found funny, just to sidetrack, I found very funny. One of your story statuses talking about you were at a event somewhere and you guys had allocated, this section for you guys, but then comes in a stranger and wants to take over from where you are, like your fun time,
a reserved table.
A reserved table where it's like you knew it was just specifically for you, but they came and there was the interruptions, and what were they under the influence? No, yes, because ngathi umuntu obephuzile ngendlela behlupha ngayo, and
umuntu beneplug.
Umuntu beneplug.
Agenda.
Exactly.
And,
which I found very funny when you shared that on your status regarding that individual and how they were just pushing their agenda, and it's so sad, because we see how it's never something an individual will actually do when they're actually sober, because that doesn't necessarily reflect their personality. It just shows that it's a confidence, but a confidence that stems in the wrong, a wrong confidence, because like it's sad, confidence yomuntu has to come out of uchwala, where basically, but it becomes very wrong in a sense, because the confidence is there, but it's under the influence, but in a wrong manner. Whereas the confidence very early on when you spoke about uNkulunkulu, and like it's a God-given confidence, would say no, there is a confidence inside of you. There's that thing, that boldness inside of you. It's just that why does it need to be taken out through consuming alcohol? Because vele mu plugin, bano plug, as we normally say.
Yeah.
So what for you then? What is it, the now talking about the turning point, or even just coming back to the lower point? Just one more question: Did you ever feel like there was no way out? In the fact that like abangani bakho whenever they were like, no, that's enough, and so you moved on with people that were in your channel, let's drink, did you ever feel like in a moment when you were in the moment of fun? Because you're not thinking of getting out when you're having fun in that moment. You're having a good time, and the thing that is ringing right now is just the alcohol that's speaking when you speak to people when under the influence. It's that thing where you just like you're looking to do something. But did you ever get to a point where you were seated at an event, or maybe at a gathering, or at a fun place, or a club, a lounge, whatever, and you just felt, and you said to yourself, I need to get out of this? Yeah.
So there's two things you asked.
Yeah, okay.
You mentioned about someone interrupting your your table.
Yes, I like the fact that you listen.
Yeah.
That okay. Yeah. Carry on.
So let me just start there.
Yeah.
Alcohol, what it doesn't really change you.
Yeah.
But it enhances your emotions. So let's say we're just having a conversation. You can say something and but because I'm in my sober state,
yeah,
I can regulate it or maybe it's not the time to talk about
it. Yes,
or
yes.
I can let it slide.
Yeah.
Or and then you say something else, it makes me laugh. I laugh, But when you are in your plug-in, every emotion gets enhanced. So uma ushinto engofenda ngiresponda manje, uma ushinto yabo ngikhumbula if ingqondo yami izokhumbula into eyenzeka sengisho manje lento ngixoxa manje lento lesengqondweni. But if we think about it, there's always things that are coming into your mind, but they're not necessary for the audience or for the moments that esigyon. So umuntu osuke phuzile is at a risk of whatever that comes into the mind is going to come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what happened with the lady who became aggressive, and really couldn't regulate ukuthi zishaphi la and yini ofuna ngiyenze nento kumele ngiyenze. So that's I think also people bahlale bengibuza lento ukuthi umuntu medakiwe uba uyena ngempela. Yeah, it is you lo suku usuhlaza. Kodwa under normal circumstances, just because I've thought of saying something rude, uyakwazi ukufilterish ukuthi no, maybe I don't have to say it. Kodwa musudakiwe usukusemseni sokuthi yini ezophuma kuqala noma kuyavumeleka this reminds me of a very specific moment. There's a friend of mine, he's late now. Where waiting mina kumnandi ukuhlala nawe. But awuyeke lento ukuthi uMahleli sekhona intombi zami bese ukhuluma amaqiniso ngami. Because I didn't have a filter. So umake nje uhleli intombi la, ngihleli nami ngiyamuzwa uthi hayi nengane ezu2 but hlaba ingane ezu5. Ngithi hayi mngane ezu5 eyadinwe ukuthi mngane angiqala ngikhuluma nawe.
Usuyehlisile duzane.
Nokuthi angisho ngishada like I want the conversation akuyona eyakho. Yini okhuluma la, and I used to understand ukuthi yini eyenza ukuthi ngingakwazi ukuyibamba ngikhulume kanti on another circumstances ngangizomuzwa, and it will be so clear to me ukuthi maybe if I'm I'm interested, I can ask him later ukuthi why ukuthi ngane ezu2, but in that moment angikwazi ukuyibamba. I have to say it now, and it used to cause conflicts. I remember maybe we'll drink and then mhlawumbe sengisekhaya ngakusasa sesiyaxoxa nje ukuthi kwenzakaleni izolo, athi kodwa mngane uyabheda mfethu, uyabheda awukhumbuli mfethu besivumelene ukuthi sofika endaweni ethile bese sihamba ngo10 ngo10 useyangibalekela eklabhini, wena usuhamba emuva yabo angisakutholi ukuthi ukuphi ngo11 usuthi yena hayibo bese uba nasho ukuthi u12 yabo ushintsha izinto. So I'm trying to just talk more about what happens engqondweni yomuntu osuke ephuzile. You just become umuntu ongenama principles, who doesn't have values. There's so many people where feel sober. There's a reason why you maybe played a story from the beginning to the end. Ukuthi namhlanje ngizoyihlala nomngane wami, let's say it's a male, ngenze ngishele intombazane, maybe because I have a partner or whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
When you are drinking, chances are, if you see a girl with a short skirt or whatever that looks attractive to you, likely you're going to ask for the number, even though under normal circumstances you will remember it. I have someone I'm committed to. Then rather I would let me not, number. But when you're drinking, chances are you're gonna take the number, even though that's not what you intended to do. But this is more about how you filter emotions and your thoughts, when engaging. The second question.
Yeah, so it was, did you ever feel like there was no way out in the moments, because you might have been in a space where this now is going on for years, but did it ever come across in your mind where you just sat down and you're like, as in,
yeah, it happened. I had those moments, and those moments were really painful, because okay, because my alcohol was part of my identity. So I had so much fear ukuthi uma ngiyekuphuza and then ngizobe sengiphila kanjani. And the most painful parts were when we're engaging both in alcohol and cocaine. Mhlawumbe umuntu uphuma emsebenzini ngoLwesihlanu. And then ngomgqibelo ngoLwesihlanu ebusuku we're going out to drink. And once you introduce cocaine, sizothatha labo line labo throughout the night, and angazi kwenziwa yini uphuza umudla ama-drugs, uphuza utshwala, isikhathi siyashesha. Next thing seku-6 a.m. sihleli kamngani esihlangane naye eklabhini, yena ngathi udecide yabo, sihleli kumuzi esingawazi, asigezile-ke manje. Next thing, it's Sunday 5 a.m. ulokhu wafika emzini womuntu ngo-5. So in those moments between Friday and Saturday, being on the streets, I used to have moments where I'll be thinking, I really need change. I really need a way out. But your mind can't imagine any other way when you've been drinking all your adult life. I started drinking when I was 20. At the time, maybe I'm 35. So the other time I was really a child. So all I know is me drinking. So the battle is between reality is, this is painful, it's hurting me, it's making me feel to have a void. But then I don't know what else to do, or how else can I live my life.
Sure. And just looking at that, now as we talk about the moments where you just got to a point where you're like saying and you want to stop. So coming now to the turning point, what was the moment that made you decide something had to change? Like what was the changing factor that just said, as in, and how did you get out of it? Like, what was the first step to recovery that you did?
There's a day when I was with a friend of mine, who had a pencil. So he was also not sober. So I remember, we're driving with other friends and many other people that were there. It was a convoy of cars, and we are speeding at a very high speed.
Under the influence.
And I'm saying, I need to speed. Because I think I remember even the routes are samba corner. Like my cabs. So, but this is December, people are going out, we're partying. And I remember in that moment, Gibon would say, "Azamuntu off." She's off again, Sivuli Pentla, Liana, it started drizzling for some reason, and we are speeding, and none of us are sober. And my friend dropped off. We are speeding at high speed. Nabanya bahamba ngama Ferrari selandelana.
All right.
Asime maropotsini.
Aye.
I remember in that moment, really, I wasn't a praying. I didn't even know what prayer, but I remember in that moment, God, I'm really gonna try and change my life. So there was a really one of cut where I saw myself being exposed in so much irresponsibility and being. I mean, it was my choice. I put myself there.
Yeah.
But I think I was having these glimpses. Would say, you know. So. But I mean, even then, we still got into the party where we were going. I forgot about the thoughts and the prayer. I still partied. We drank until the morning.
Yeah.
So there was one of those moments where I really wanted to have a change or had that feeling. The final time, honestly, that day nothing happened. Saying so outside of me, like an incident of anything of that sort or danger. I was sleeping. I was actually at home at my mom's house. It was almost like a voice that said to me, now it's time. Now it's time. And I had this void, I can't live like this. And the only person that I could have told was either my mother or my sisters. Because once I'm saying Shilo, I'm going to change. And now I've made myself accountable. So I phoned my sister. Sissy, I think I need a change. I think I need help. What's he? She was on the phone. She said, and I said, I need help with alcoholism or with and drugs. And my sister was in tears. She said, we've been waiting for this call.
Oh, come on.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm serious. I was really serious because since I made that call, I haven't drank.
Sure. And I earlier on when you spoke about Wuti, you guys were driving in a drop top car and there was like Ferraris involved. So I guess you are living life on the fast lane. To move to the next question, which now you said earlier on that you just said, God, if you can just if you deliver me from just like what is happening before me, because you saw a moment of danger happening because you guys were under the influence of alcohol and you guys were driving in very fast cars. A car basically sometimes it comes back to what we said earlier on when you think you're in control and you're navigating the control of your life and you think that no, I got this. Meantime, it's the other way around where alcohol is the one that's saying no, I got you and I'm navigating and telling you how to go because and I know people who have grabbed the steering wheel physically, steering wheel of a car, and being under the influence and saying, "No, I got this. I can drive. I'm very well able." And babe mshayeli izambe I know uNtswembi uyakwazi ukushayela. Yeah. So inkinga iba sekutheni ukuthi it comes back to what you said earlier on, being in denial of ukuthi Lento, you're not in control of. It's in control of you. And I love what you said earlier on when you said you're only in control. I'll paraphrase what you said. I might not say it as you said, but you said you're only in control when you're not consuming alcohol at all. That for me is very powerful. That for me is very powerful. So moving on to the next question that I know this now speaks of your faith and freedom, because as you said, you spoke to God and you said God came into the picture. And so how did God meet you in your struggle? Coming now to that point.
Yeah, I really think God was always there.
Yeah.
It was just me that wasn't in touch with the God that was always there in my life. So the first time was when I had that thought to call my sister.
Yeah.
And then soon after that, we made arrangements for me to go to rehab.
Yeah.
So when I went to rehab, I really was so desperate and so willing because I really wanted my life to change.
Yeah.
Even though I still had reservations, like, can a person really stop drinking? And I'll have thoughts like, yo, ayazi labantu kunzima kanjani ungaphuzi njengoba bethi ngesiphinde nje siphuze.
Yo.
Like how does that work? So when I was at rehab, you get assigned to, there was a counselor that was responsible for me.
Yeah.
But then the psychologists and doctors that are in there and counselors, others you go to classes. So I think I'd been there for a week, and my counselor bumped into me in a passage because there's classes. There's you go into this room, you go into group therapy, you go into one-on-one and all of that stuff. So siyapambana nje passage. So it's giving me, hey, Noni, I'm getting good feedback from my other colleagues, other psychologists. You are really doing well.
Wow.
So if you keep doing that, you'll be fine. Just keep doing the next right thing.
Sure.
So ngimbuke nami, you know, I get motivated to continue in. So as ngisuka kuyena nje basikhuluma bese ngiyasuka ngithi okay ngiqhubeke nendlela bese yaphenduka athi kumina, hey angibize futhi kwesibili Noni. So manje bese siqala ukuhlukana, angibuka athi Noni, I actually can remember that guy in his face.
Yeah.
Then he said to me, but are you praying? Okay, me having not that prayer thing, I remember in that moment I thought, hey, manje ngithanda zazongisiza ngani ngoba ngiyayiphuzela nje ngize kule program le okufuna siyenze. So angamlalela nje and I let it be, you know. And that same night I was sharing a room with 3 ladies. For some reason, they were delayed. We were 30 seconds with other friends at rehab. Rehab, 8, 9. So I went up into my room. Actually, how it happened, I was also playing with them. 30 seconds. But I'm feeling ngakhathala. Yabo kuba khona into ethi ngathi ngifuna ukuba ngedwa. That's the feeling I had. And then bese ngiyabatshela ngithi bafethu ngisheshe ngilale namhlanje ngaphuma futhi igame isaphakathi angisafuna ukudlala nje something just ngazizwa nje ngikhathala. And then I said to them ngizohamba ngiyolala bathi okay baqhubeka bayidlalela. So my room was upstairs, so in upstairs where I could see them lapha badlala khona phansi. So uma ngibalunguza ngifathala ngiyabona actually I was closing curtains. Babona hayi basabhizi basadlala yabo ngivala ikhethini manje qeda ukuvala ikhethini bese ngiyakhumbula ukuthi this guy uthe I must pray. He was very specific. He said to me I must pray on my knees. So to me that was really embarrassing. At that time that's what I thought. But the fact that I was by myself, my friends are playing, I thought okay, maybe this is the time for me to do this prayer thing.
Yes.
Remember, I don't even know ukuthi nje bangizothanda sangizothini ngikhuluma nobani. So I went on my knees. I remember there was a small pillow, a single bed. So my pillow, what the best days I take, cause some cushion. That's a cushion. I beg a pants. Ngaguqa. And I think from Gubas ekhaya ngakhumbula ukuthi uhlanza izandla ngothanda. So I put my hand together and I was on my knees now. All I said was, God help me. You know, in that moment, I was just filled with a lot of hope. A hope that I hadn't felt in more than 10 years. A hope that felt like your life can be different. You can, you know, or be happy or joyous or ngakwazi ukuphila impilo with other drugs. That was my first experience of feeling my life ingakwazi ukushintsha. But then what happened, I held on to that feeling. Because I think my challenge was, if ngiyakuphuza ngizophila kanjani? So am I going to be miserable and be depressed all the time? That's really what my fear was, because alcohol will make you feel like you are feeling better. And after that, that day, everything was happening one after the other. I went to, I was in a 12-step program rehab. So there was a guy who was making us go through, there's an association called Alcoholics Anonymous. So he was making us read the book, Alcoholics Anonymous book. And for some reason, that day he was giving a lecture on God.
Wow.
And said, we are talking, so the previous week we were talking about sex and how to behave in sex. We're all laughing in class, like and then next thing he said, hey, I'm planning to call on God. Everyone's like, oh. Anyways, so, but see, for some reason, abuze mina. Athi mina, if you were to meet God, how would you like him to be?
Yeah.
And no one had ever asked me that.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had permission to have a relationship with God.
Yes.
I had permission to have a God that I can describe, or a relationship that I can form that is comfortable to me. So I said, oh, okay, I would like God to be forgiving, because I was thinking about my life. I'd like God to be supportive, God to help me with my journey in recovery, a God to give me peace, and and then he said, that's a good start. That's your God. Start a relationship with God. And that made me feel like, oh, God could be love. God could not be someone that maybe is judgmental, because that's the perspective that I have. So that's really what opened my door in my heart.
Yes.
Wanting to have a relationship with God.
Sure. And that is so powerful, because it's amazing that Alcoholics Anonymous actually acknowledges that in your recovery that there is that cry out that you need to do to God for help in what you're going through. So I thoroughly enjoy that. But
we will talk about Alcoholics Anonymous another time. But the truth is, in a 12-step program, all those steps, I'm maybe not talk about Alcoholics Anonymous per se. Let me just talk about the 12-step program. That whole 12-step program is about a surrender to the power that is greater than you, which is God.
Oh, come on.
And that's the power that helps you from not using drugs or...
So, to move on to the point of, your life today. So how is your life different now, and what healthy habits have replaced alcohol and drug addiction?
So I'm very involved in recovery. I'm in a 12-step program. There's quite a few of them. I'm involved in quite a few. So on a daily basis, I get calls from either someone saying, I'm struggling with alcoholism, I'm struggling with addiction, I'm struggling with my use of drugs, or it's a family member worried about their daughter, their husband. So when that act on its own, when someone is asking me for help, it reminds me of how badly alcohol and drugs are still affecting people out there.
Sure.
And every time someone is asking and I'm being of service in terms of helping you, or giving any suggestion, depending on what you're asking me, it's always a reminder to me. So just remember, to be able to stop drinking, you just need to take it one day at a time.
Yes.
Or another thing that you could do is change maybe the places you go to. You can maybe change the friends that drink, and maybe the way that you look at things. Every time I say something, whatever that flows through me to you, it's also sticking onto me.
Sure.
So it also helps me to stay on my journey. I'm always reminded of how bad alcohol is, and I'm also always inspired to stay sober. So that's one of my habits, service, and I run 2 businesses. I have a record label.
Come on.
I have a wonderful group called Canary Voices.
I'm part of that, by the way. Just talk about me.
And I also have a brand, Utingo Super Meals Meal in Bopo, which a company I run with my husband.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people that are employed there. So my point is, I'm also occupied. I'm busy. I'm working. And very close to my heart also, I'm a recovery coach. I'm a certified recovery coach. So I'm always in the business of building communities, really. So I'm either going to speak with people, or I'm speaking on radio, or it's just a one-on-one. And in that whole process, what I've learned is that even when I'm on radio, even when I'm speaking at a hall in the Mandaba, hundreds, about 1,000, I'm always speaking to one person.
Sure.
If that one person gets a message, and that one person changes in their community, they can be that person who's like uNoni, ozoshintsha abanye abantu futhi kuleyo ndawo. So I just need one person ozongilalela as a message.
Wow. And I guess you just covered the question that I was going to ask you on what does freedom look like in your everyday life, and you've covered that already.
I want to share a specific story on my life, I always had discipline, like go to school, finish what I started. My boss liked me. That's why he even took me to rehab. I mean, I wasn't someone who's not teachable or who's not performing at work. But the truth is, I was never fulfilled. That's why I was running to drugs. So this time, there was a time when I had started my journey now in recovery, and I just wrote on my diary, because I write a lot. I was writing that, this thing that my new life and this hope that I have that a person cannot drink. I think at the time I hadn't drank for 6 months. I really like to speak on radio. But I'd started writing certain things on my social media. In that same week, someone called me. Waseredweni wathi siyakubona lokhu uposta lana awufuna ukuza yini uzokhuluma kune-show la sizokulanda and all that stuff. I had never been on radio. I mean, to have a conversation or to be someone who's a contributor. But I just went, I think, with faith that we will be able to hold a conversation. So I went. My show was actually at 5 a.m. Until like 6. So I remember vividly driving back from my experience being on that show. I was driving home. I had a moment saying drive akwangathi umhlaba uyavuleka, and I just arrived. Ngathi mangifika, and I knew this is what I'm meant to be doing, to help others. So what is different is that now I feel that I'm living in my purpose. And I'm doing something that's really fulfilling me. And it's really not so much about what I gain. It's so much about what I can do for another person.
Come on. And I love the fact that you answered that question, because earlier on when I said it there, I feel like you've answered it, because I could hear the points where you say what has changed in my life is that I started venturing into businesses. I started doing my own things and having my own stuff, and that is also not merely a distraction, but a way of, when you left alcohol and you left drug cocaine, and you said, okay, right, what can I do from here? And you didn't create any excuses. And I can believe the journey must have been tough in terms of leaving something that basically was a lifestyle for you, and that you had to consume on a daily basis. But now to advise others, to help others, and I'm sure you got so much. And for those that do not know, Sis Noni has a TikTok, which is you can go listen furthermore on her stuff, follow on her TikTok. And you care to share what your TikTok under what it is?
It's Look Up With Noni, or you can look under Noni Smith.
Yes, under Noni Smith. So you just say Noni Smith on TikTok and she appears, and immediately you can just follow. And if you have a friend or family member that's struggling basically with alcohol, and they cannot seem to let go of this, you please follow her page, because it's very, 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 very powerful on what she talks about. You even actually counsel people. You counsel people. You wanna furthermore explain that on your counseling sessions, and like what does it entail?
Yeah, I'm a recovery coach.
Okay.
Which means I really embark on a journey with you when you want to identify what the issue is really with your relationship with alcohol. So I do one-on-one sessions. I do them online. So coaching is really going line in line with you, working on yourself, on stopping to drink. So we do reflections on the session, we do character building, we do accountability, boundaries, and also we look into what will help you to avoid a relapse. There's about 60 parts that we can take, but I always narrow it down to about 12 sessions. And out of those 60, we'll only apply the 12 that is suitable according to what you're telling me, because people's stories are not the same. So someone started drinking at a young age, someone is in an environment where kubong ne tavern. So it always it's shaped by your story on which direction we're gonna take. However, the help is there. I've seen people really change and evolve and being grateful that there is help, because anyone can change and stop drinking as long as you are willing, you're open-minded, and you are teachable, and you are really honest with yourself. It really takes you to be truthful to yourself on where alcohol has taken you and where you really want to be as a person.
Yeah, and that is so powerful, my friend. And I'd like to further add this, not further add, but say, for people that are coming out, or people that do desire to actually come out, what has been a support structure for you? So how did family members best support you in when you in your struggle with addiction, and like when you came to that point of stopping, how did they come around you? What help did they provide for you in that moment?
Oh, my family has really been patient with me.
Yes.
From when I wasn't listening, when I disappointed them, where I was a disgrace at some point as an eldest daughter, behaving like, for lack of a better way to express it, babies and was cutting some fine,
Yeah.
So that must have been really disappointing.
Yeah.
So I think when I started changing my life, my family gathered in supporting my journey. And at home I have my aunt who's a pastor. So they were praying for me. I mean, that's a different story for another day.
Yeah.
They've been praying for me for years.
Okay.
That's my both my parents, my dad and my mom's sister. Have been really supportive, and my mother and my dad, my sisters. Sometimes when I'm speaking at events, they also come to see and support, because I think there's also a part of them that can't believe how much my life has changed, and that I want all other families that have someone who's struggling with addiction, alcoholism, to experience. That mntana wakho ingashintsha. I remember my mom was crying when I was still drinking and had started taking drugs, and she found out. She went to a psychologist, or the doctor that was helping me, and the doctor said, once you start drugs, there's no coming back.
Sure.
So my mom was in tears, but now we're speaking a different story. But I really say it's because of the honesty that I had to have, and the power that I attach myself to, that has helped me. One of the things that people always, I think, struggle with is the seriousness of how much alcohol has a hold on you. When I say to someone, you have to change your friends. You have to change the places you go to. You have to change the way you see life, where impilo is about to groove, or impilo is about celebrating with alcohol, or impilo is about istayela. Istayela for some reason is hambelana no, or it's about to clever. No try. So in my experience, really, it was hard for me to not speak to my friends when my journey started, because you've known these people for so long. But you know what was surprising for me? My friends respected my decision. I stayed away from my friends for about a year or two, because I really needed to take charge of my life. And I promise you, I didn't have bad friends per se. We all made choices that we made with whatever knowledge that we had at that time. And most of my friends that I distanced myself with in those 2 years, I'm friends with them again now. But they respect me. They know it's always something. Joke. Come out. Hey Noni, I suppose or Noni, Noni. But it's okay. I mean, people respect you, and people, when they really need maybe a family member, but from whom they always bring them to me. So it's if your friends were really your friends, you'll still find them on the other side. But if they were not, there are people obviously that I only had a number ngoba ngifuna ngikwelete ama drugs. So vele lo muntu was never really my true friend.
Yes.
So those people I really cut them out because when you're recovering from alcoholism, there are temptations and all of this. So you don't want that number to be on your phone.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's many other things we can't avoid. Uthupuma nje kwakho kune billboard ekhulu advertise ubeer. Noma intombazane ihleli egqoke ingubo ered iyaphuza. So if you're still trying to change your life, akulula to avoid umubuka TV, every second ad is about alcohol.
Yeah.
So try though in your own space ukuthi unga expose etshwaleni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And what is the myth that, because people like creating excuses behind everything when it comes to alcoholism and drug addiction, but what is the myth about addiction that you like people to stop believing?
That addiction is a choice. Addiction is an illness that is really powerful. I might have made a choice the first time I drank, but once the alcohol has gotten hold of me, it then does not become a choice. I want to stop, but I can't stop. So I need help. So the people supporting you need to understand that you need help. Nawe ungayitshela ukuthi into ongavele uyiyeke nje, like the choice you made.
Sure.
In the beginning. It does not become a choice at the end. If it was that simple, ngabe wonke umuntu uthi ngeke ukuphuza yeke. Ngabe asihlali sithi hayi ngizokwenza ini iJanuary sober noma iOctober noma that's the worst thing a person could do. But anyways, bese we are celebrating makuphela uOctober uphuze suphuzela wonke uOctober. So was that really a break?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
You know, so my point is, it may start as a choice the first time you drank, but your choice ended that day. After that, alcohol is in control. You are unable to make the choice on your own. People need to get help to become sober and to get over addiction.
Sure. Okay, so you know, you really just it just spoke so much in volumes about just, you know, your journey, how the alcohol started, and which led to like the stories behind the consequences that it carried when you were actually consuming alcohol. And you know, you spoke more also about how it started introducing a new friend, which then became cocaine, and the journey with alcohol and cocaine being involved, and how it escalated, and things getting out of hand and not having control. And when you think you had control, meantime you don't have control, and what it started doing in terms of, you know, towards family, towards yourself as such. So we just want to furthermore just know from you in now your recovery states, and just know you just gave advice to family and friends of maybe family members that are having issues with alcohol and also drug addiction. If you could go back and speak to your younger self, what would you say? Like what would be a thing that could change, that you'd say to your younger self, hey, listen, before you get to this age, be careful of such and such, or like what is the word? What are the words that you, if you had the opportunity to go back in time and see yourself at a younger age and say, hey, listen, when you get to a specific age, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
You know what? I would have really had a life program for myself.
Okay.
And really kept to it. So what I'm talking about is, I would have set goals on almost like a vision board.
Yeah.
Or a vision for my life. You remember most esikoleni ukuthi kune program yakhona, when you go to church, kufunda iBhayibheli, kuyathandazwa, everything has a program. So if impilo izokufika ungazwe ukuthi umephi, then uzoyithola uyabona, you fall for everything. So what I would have done, I would have had a live program where I play the movie from the beginning to the end about every choice that I make. Sure. And I don't think alcohol would have been a choice.
And so just wrapping it up now, and I just want you to talk furthermore, just as Look Up With Noni, since this is Look Up With Noni podcast, and it's the first episode, and it's so exciting. It's so exciting. It is like in JR. As far as we contain the so I just want to say in closing, my friend, what message do you want every listener and everyone, not listener, but every person viewing this, what do you want them to remember from what you just said today, and how, and if someone watching wants help today, what would you tell them to do first?
So what I want people to take from this, alcohol is a socially accepted drug in a society. As we had said, when you're 18 to a phuza among the celebration, uphuza champagne, makwenzeka into 12, I just want us to just re-look at that, because we know the amalume lo owene potential kodwa siyambona manje uthi nje 1 2 siyarolla phansi. We know that daughter that needed was going to be a doctor or whatever the case is, and now impilo yabo ime ndawonye because utshwala. So let's not stay stuck ekutheni utshwala buyinto enhle, and really look into it. So there's that part, and also I want people to really review a relationship abanayo one-on-one, not with the friends, just you on your own. Ukuthi nampala zisha between mina notshwala, you know, and really take an inventory of your relationship with utshwala from the time you started drinking, and how are your patterns now in your drinking. That's the second part. And then the people who are struggling, who are in pain, I just want them to know that there is hope. You can recover from alcoholism. You can recover from a hopeless state of mind and an obsession over alcohol, and be free and never have to drink again. So I more than anything, I just want to send a message of hope that kuyakwazi ukuyekela ukuphuza utshwala uqala impilo yakho kabusha and enjoy your life and be free and be able to be happy. And joyous in this life. Participate. Ube umuntu nje okhona. You ask a second.
The second question, so basically the last question was, if someone who's watching this right now and they need this help and they saying, hey Sis Noni, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to your podcast today, and I just really need this help. I cannot get myself out of this. What help can they receive, and how would what's the first steps to
the first step is to really seek help. Whether you're going to a rehab or you reach out to me, I'm available on TikTok. Then I can direct people where to get help. It's really not easy to stop drinking on your own. Into iqala uyedwa, kodwa ngesikhathi usufuna ukuyeka, you need help from professionals that are going to help you to stop drinking. But what I can say, umuntu who needs some inspiration of some sort, don't look ungakubuki ukuthi yo ngiphinde ngiphuze impilo yami yonke, ithi ngeze ngiphuze in this hour. Your mind can take that. Ukuthi yazi ukuthi ngeze ngiphuze manje. Uthola ukuthi the next hour maybe you're not thinking about alcohol, and then maqhubeka isikhathi uthi okay ngiyengiphuze futhi manje ungayinika isikhathi eside, and then mufika ebusuku usiyolala uthi angiphuzanga namhlanje. So if you divide it, uyenze kancane, it becomes possible, and then you need to seek help though. Boy, you're gonna be helped by professionals, because alcohol is cunning. Alcohol is baffling. Alcohol is powerful. It's not easy to really stop on your own. I know people have stopped through church, but that has helped too. Through going to a rehab, they have miracles where they just stop. However, even that person, they still need support, because we know it's I find. So someone, I was speaking to someone who told me, yeah, I was 3 months, but Now, where the help comes in is what happens when you pick up the drink again. So the help will give you strength on those things that are your triggers. Because now the programs that we offer cover everything. The things that you wouldn't even have thought of that are going to help you in your journey.
I think I am just so grateful, my friend. This is so, guys, this is so educational, so life motivating, so important for us to really know about, because I think it gets overlooked. And as you're saying that they like utshwala is just become more of ukuthi bethu abantu yo avusibhora mengambuza ukhulumeni ngendaba yatshwala, but there are people that are suffering um, in places that we are unaware of, because people cannot seem to overcome this issue that they have. And obviously, njengoba I said earlier on, and I expanded early on as we spoke, ukuthi how umzali wami used to drink because wayeneyinkinga, kodwa when we look at the whole picture, is that utshwala in today's society is advertised everywhere. Like you turn on your TV, as you said, it's there, billboards, it's there. They put the beautiful, sexy woman in a red dress with the alcohol in her hand. It's there. It gets pushed. It gets pushed onto different, media sectors where a certain person is sponsored by that brand. And it's funny because mina ngikhuluma nje, I like to still think I do stand-up comedy, but like the stand-up, I do. That it used to be a alcoholic brand behind that stand-up comedy thing, and and it's normal.
You mentioned something about your mom. She'll drink to escape problems, but she was causing more problems. About how it was affecting you guys. You could have turned and be someone who wants to drink because of what you saw at home. Or and also maybe when umzali ophuzayo. I know abantu abaningi, they drink wine and all the time. But maybe we need to have a conversation with our children. How do you feel about my drinking? Because we're really exposing them from a young age to this addictive substance.
And it's not like they're not watching, they are.
They are watching.
They're watching.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a friend, othi mina into eyenza ukuthi ashintshe impilo yakhe ukuthi kwakuthiwa ekhaya esikoleni abadwebe i-family picture. Wadweba sedweba umakhe phezu class. So that's a family picture. Not umama washizitsha mhlambe noma umama odlala nengane, umama uxoxa nengane. Mama, it's a class.
Yeah, my friend.
I really enjoyed this.
I think let's wrap it up. I'm just gonna allow you just to speak for a while, just to further share who Noni is and look up Noni and where people can find you. Take it away.
Okay. So this is our first episode of Look Up with Noni. We're doing a podcast which is going to be available on YouTube. We're also on TikTok, Look Up with Noni, and Instagram, Look Up with Noni. We really want to invite people to engage more with us in terms of where they are at when it comes to addiction and their journey with alcohol. And our topics will really be informed about what you need. That we're going to have guests in other episodes, people that have been through a journey like mine, people that maybe have even experienced the relapse. We just want it to be as authentic, honest as possible, so that someone can really get help or can find themselves in someone's story and they are able to relate and get help. So the whole program really, what was placed in our hearts is to be open, to reach out And so there's abantu bazokhuleka bakhulume about thinking abanazo when it comes to alcohol. I know alcohol comes with a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. So how is that? Alcohol is an addictive substance. Iyafana nama prescription drugs, iyafana namanye ama drugs. So it's not a weakness when you're struggling with alcohol. It's because your body is responding to an addictive substance, and you do need help. And here's the help. Look Up With Noni.
Absolutely. And that, my friend, we're going to call it a wrap. Until next time, catch episode 2, same time, same place. And please do subscribe to Noni's channel, which is Look Up With Noni. Catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and goodbye.
Hi, my name is Noni Smith. Welcome to Look Up With Noni, with me as your host. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on social media platforms, TikTok and Instagram as Look Up With Noni.